YouTube, and welcome to another episode of Stu and...
I just want to say it's 1 minute past 12, so it's actually good afternoon.
Let's fuck that up. Good afternoon, YouTube.
On the 1st of February...
Pinch punch, first out of month, no returns. 2026, he's got Alzheimer's.
I have. And he wants them back. So, no, we're just really carrying on from where we've ended off last week with the friendship thing about what do we do as friends? Where do we go with it, and what's the best thing to do? And I think discovering, I know you're still working, where some of us are...
Loose sense of the word there.
Where some of us are sort of, 1 foot coffin dodging, retired, with plenty to do. Although the area must be obeyed, the long-haired Sergeant Major makes sure that I've got plenty to do. However, it is a case of just, the tendency is, and certainly in weather like this, is to just, you look out the window and you go, nah.
You vegetate.
You just, you don't go anywhere.
You become lethargic.
Yeah, and it's like, they call it that sad, innit? You call it sad, the sudden, no, hang on a minute.
Seasonal affective
disorder.
Yeah.
But really what you've got to do is you've got to motivate yourself and get out. And even if it is, for my case, jumping in a car and driving and having breakfast with a friend or something like that, that constitutes, and it makes you feel better. And also, I think, going and getting your hair cut or whatever you're going to do, or going to a shop, or not that you need an haircut because you've got like the best.
Thank you very much.
What was it? A solar panel for a sex object. The best, widest centre part I've ever known. No, that You'll Bring a competition went a little bit wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just about doing something. I think that's where we're exploring today. Is
it's that time of year.
Where you think, let's go outwards and what we're going to do, and what we're thinking of, and
we've done a few trips between us. We've got a few trips under our belt.
Yeah,
and it's
Berlin,
Ypres.
That was good. Who was that American?
Always good. His mate, the American.
Just turned up, said hello, scabbed the bloody meal off us, and went.
Yeah.
And he turned up on a photograph.
Yeah.
Well, who's that?
I know his name's Mark. He's somewhere out in the ether.
So if you're out there, Mark,
you owe Stu some
you owe me
money.
€20.
Yeah. Are you joking?
No, you don't.
You were good company, and you took a lot of ribbing.
Yeah.
English American comradeship took had a bit of a test that night. But yeah, Ypres is always good.
It was good. Berlin was good. Yeah.
But with history and just talking about things, just injecting some humour into
in a daily life. And I think I think what you've got to do when you go to these places, as you're aware, and I'm going to plug a book now, Travellers in the Third Reich and A Village in the Third Reich, by a fantastic author called Miss Julia Boyd. If you are interested, it's I think it's Schuster and Co. But it's well worth a read because it gives you an insight. But as Miss Boyd herself said to me, because I do write to people, Miss Boyd said to me, and it's an agreement that I think we all historians have, is that not to use your hindsight, but to have a look at it through their eyes at that time. As difficult as that may be, to get some understanding, perspective of what it was. Yeah, the fact that they were just the same as we were. Or, our forebears were, for me, grandfathers. But,
going with the flow.
Yeah, doing what you've been asked to do, or in some cases told to do. But yeah, so we've got that planned up. There's other bits and pieces going on. I'm going over to Poland in about 6 weeks to again to do to go to Krakow. I know you've been before.
Yeah. Wrap up warm. My advice: wrap up warm.
You want to see what I'm packed up as, me?
Yeah.
That Michelin man.
Michelin man, yeah.
Yeah.
Krakow is absolutely
beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah. So we're going to do Auschwitz
Yeah.
because I think you should,
Yeah.
and I think it's a certainly if you've got an interest in it. But I know that you know it's not going to be a pleasant. I do recall being in Germany, being over in.
It's eye-opening, and I think, you know, if you know anything about history, you know what happened there. So that kind of isn't the shock.
No.
What kind of leaves you in awe is how the machine developed
Yes.
and how big it was.
It was just a machine.
Yeah. It was brutal.
I think also when you think, you know, we know with the people bandy around for the whole Holocaust, 6 million people. Well, I don't know about you, but I can't imagine 6 million people because that must be somebody living in a small town somewhere.
No, I mean, we live in a village with 3,000 people. The town I grew up in, I think, is about 20,000 people now, maybe 25,000 people.
So yeah, so
it's
I mean,
tiny.
Leeds must be where I'm from. You know, that's got to be fairly close to it. But it's like, you know, you can imagine if they come and said, yeah, there's been a massacre and 10 people have died. You know, because you got 10 fingers. Well, you got
things you
8 fingers and 2 thumbs, haven't you? So you can count that. But it's as I was saying, you know, I went to Hona, which is quite close. I went to the village of Belsen, and then went to Belsen Camp. There's not an awful lot there, you know, the memorial.
Yeah.
But it is a very sobering thing, and also, you know, I was on my own as well. God delivered. It was this silly job I had to take all these reservists over and drop them off at some camp in Germany, stay overnight and then fly back the next morning. Bizarre. But there we are. But yeah, the sort of sobering thought was like having a few beers before I went and then going and having a look at the place and then coming away from it and just being so, I don't know, just subdued by it all. You know, the mood lightened. And then you go back into the village and you sit and you're looking at people thinking, I know they weren't there. It's like, you know, like, how does it affect them? What was it like? And it was, I think, Pastor Niemöller, who was a U-boat commander in the First World War, he wrote a famous poem called something about when they came. And he said, like, when they came for the Jews, I didn't say anything because I'm not Jewish. When they came for the whoever, I didn't do it because I'm not. And he said, when they came for me, there was nobody left to talk, to say. So I think it was a case of you keep your mouth shut, because if not, you know, you're sort of next unable, night and fog.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird when you go to these places like with Krakow and Budapest.
Yeah,
badly affected. I think that's 500,000 Hungarians.
Yeah,
it's a real. It's quite a heavy subject to talk about. But the people in both places are really, really very welcoming. Very chilled, but you know, both countries having been through two regimes.
They've been through. Yes, and you know, of course, Berlin, as we're saying, we've been
Berlin.
Is it 3 times or 2 times? Oh,
twice.
I've
been twice with you. I think since you've been 3 times, 4
times? 4 or 5 times, and obviously the time I was stationed there.
Yeah.
But even then, see, then being stationed there was 1976 to 78, so I was only 18.
Yeah.
And that was a strange, because people there who are my age now, in the 60s, would have remembered it and would have been there at that time, and that was quite a thing. And of course, the threat then wasn't the National Socialists. The threat there was the Cold War, Soviet Russia, and we were surrounded. And the Germans, or the Berliners, had this very distinct sort of live for today, you know, so they'd shake hands every night when they were leaving you, because they didn't know whether they were going to be there the next day, because the Russians probably wouldn't have invaded, they'd have just gone round it, because there was nothing there for them to take. And so for us it was like a dual, again, it was like that dual thing, that you go there, so you've got this history of it that's prominent, as in what happened in the 1930s and 40s, and then you've got what's happening now with the Soviets. And when you go back now, it's like the you know, the difference between the two. You know, the relics of both sides are there, so you can go to where the Berlin Wall was. You can go to the Escape Museum. You can do different cultures, but at the same time, you can also go to the Reichstag. You can also go to and try and mix them and and match them off.
Yeah.
I think, in fact, somebody asked me only yesterday about things that we do that you've done that not shock other people, but really sort of question. And it was last night we were talking. I was at I was out with a load of midwives, delightful. Just keep breathing and push. No, they're so clinical, aren't they? Do you know, there's no. Anyway.
Thank God they are.
Yes, thank God they are, yeah. And one was saying, like, we were just chatting, she'd mentioned that I'd been a soldier and where I'd served and stuff. So I said, Berlin and Ireland, Bosnia, Kosovo, places like that. And she said, what was the best thing about it? And I thought, well, Berlin was a bit strange because obviously clearly there was a wall. Going all the way around and one down the middle and that. And I said that, that out of it all, I sort of, what I remember best of all was sort of guarding, I only did it twice, guarding Rudolf Hess whilst he was in Spandau prison.
Connection through history.
The connection through history to my grandfather who'd been there in 1945.
Who's done that?
But, well, no, it's not just that, is it? It's just that when I sit back and I think, no, I can't. And that connection for me was that my grandfather had been with the military police in 1945 in Berlin. So all of a sudden, I didn't really, as a young soldier, because I didn't really have anything in common with him other than the fact that we both put uniform on.
Yeah.
And because his experience was completely different, Second World War, completely different. But here is this little link, this little nuance of society that puts you both together. And I did, he died in 1982, I think he died. So I did get the chance to speak to her about it, but that generation were very reticent about speaking about things, where now as we are encouraged to speak, and rightly so, because that's the best way of getting.
I think as well, in this conversation, the thing that really resonates is the common link is history.
Yes.
And so the places we've been to, First World War, Second World War, Cold War, the gentleman sat next to me has been part of that.
Yeah, but I mean, you as well. Your father being a pilot, you've been on bases.
Camera fitter. Yeah.
That was it.
English Electric Canberras.
That was it.
Yeah.
It's Loz's dad who was a pilot.
Loz's dad was a pilot.
But to say the places that he's been and you've been to were the same, because you got to think of, even though you were growing up as a kid, and you're at, say, I don't know, Gütersloh, right? And you got to think, why are we there? Why are we in Germany at the time? Well, we're there because of what had happened in history. And your father was there doing his job as part of the follow-up. My dad
was basically Cold War. That's really what his.
To be honest, the winters were cold.
They were bloody cold. and really his trade in photography, he would have been looking at things, or what the squadron he was in was looking at things that were happening.
Well, that's why a lot of when you've asked for his information, a lot of it will be redacted because they won't be able to tell you for 50 or 70 years or something.
Yeah, I know bits. I know Malta, I know Germany, I know Singapore, I know Norway. Funny enough, I know bits that he did in Jamaica, Nassau, and Bahamas. So you know the things when you're growing up. Like
the drug dealing thing.
Yeah, Dad would be mortified if he heard that.
Yeah. Sorry,
because he never got paid. Anyway, back at the ranch.
Back at the ranch. Yeah. What are you opening the window for? Just dropping this parcel out.
Just helping out.
Just happy,
relief aid and all that.
Yeah, relief in the right way as well.
It's kind of an easy life for us, though, because we go to these places. I mean, you look at Ypres, and we're in Cloth Hall, the museum, and they got photographs from 1914, 1916, 1918.
And it doesn't exist.
And you can see the town, then you see the footprint of the town, then you see what just looks like a sand dune, just dust.
Well, you look at the print, you look at the picture, and you go, you see that building there, that mound, that's where you're staying tonight. I think Ypres is one of those places as well that's very emotive because of the fact that there's no building there that is newer than sorry, older than 1921. I know there were remains there, but the main sort of thing were built up, wasn't it? Because Churchill wanted to leave it as a memorial to the Germans, pretty much like de Gaulle did with Aradosa Glen. Which again is another.
I know about it. I can't even pronounce it, but he's been there.
It is.
And horrific at the same time.
The SS, second SS turned up one afternoon. I've got the stuff up there. I can't remember the dates offhand, but they turned up one afternoon, and within 4 hours, they destroyed the village, killed everybody. People that weren't from there, they sent them away. A bit like they did with Lidic in Poland. Yeah, this is where the SS were on the way after, because there was Overlord at the top, which was going to be called Hammer, and then the southern invasion, which was really a Free French, Canadians and Americans. That was going to be called Anvil. And it was called Anvil. That was like the south of France, moving up. And the SS moved up to, they were going up to help out Normandy. And the Massif region, which big hills and stuff, was where the Free French and the French Resistance, Maquis, were based. Whether they were attacked or whatever, it's all misty. But they actually destroyed the town. And in fact, if you ever watched the series The World at War with Laurence Olivier,
I've watched that.
The opening sequence of a plane, that's Aradosa Glen. And if you go to now, and if you flew the same flight path, you'd see exactly the same, with rusted cars, things like that, and the graveyard and the church where all the children, women and children were put. Horrific. But it's there as a reminder of it, and clearly, happily, Ypres was rebuilt, and then the Menin Gate was put there with these sort of 10,000 names or so of soldiers who have no known grave. If you remember, we're in the Ypres Inn. That's the one on the corner, and the last post ceremony is every day apart from Christmas Day. 8 o'clock every evening, and I think it's Christmas Day they don't do it, and it's a fire brigade, and it's packed all the time.
Absolutely unbelievable, actually.
And I remember speaking to that guy that would be behind the bar, and I said, does this not bother you, because he's running a bar, which obviously is making money, and it's very much pro-British, as we know, because of the fact that most of the names on there are either British or Commonwealth soldiers. And he said, no, not at all. He said, because my great-grandparents had said, who were in Ypres as children in the First World War, and he said, without them names, he said, we're not here.
The Hound.
What?
Amazon delivery. We get that, don't we?
Yeah. Well, it's the dog going bananas, isn't it?
Dog doesn't work for Amazon, by the way.
It does.
Doorbell.
Well, he thinks he's on,
Where were we? We were in Ypres.
We were.
Beautiful.
Excuse me. Yeah, town. Beautiful. Yeah, and it's very, very, as I say, very pro-British, and they're very grateful, the British. And for example, the law of selling poppies, if you like, the rules for selling poppies, is that the British Legion here can only sell poppies 2 weeks prior. Whereas in Ypres, if you wanted one now, you can go get one. And it is inundated with it. And in fact, when the only time the Second World War, from 1940 through to 44, because 45 the war was over, was when the Germans wouldn't allow it. And that's not because they wouldn't allow the commemoration, it was the fact that they had rules against people meeting together. But even there, Hitler had given strict instructions that no memorials should be destroyed. And in fact, there is a myth, whether it's a myth or not, I don't know, whether it's a story, but it sounds feasible, that during the assault of going through the village is up towards Hill 60, where there was a memorial that had been damaged, and the German engineers refurbed it, because you know, this was a different time. But yeah, so Ypres good. I mean, and it's very thoughtful, isn't it? Very thought provoking.
I
very
think
humbling.
so. It's you know, you're on the Menin Road, is that right?
Yeah, Menin Road.
Got the Menin Road, and the other thing I found last time we went is that what I would know it as is the First World War, but I think historically there had been many battles there because it was a fortress town, and I think was it to do with cloth, literally cloth.
Cloth back in the 14th, 15th century, and
dyes, I think, as well. So you know, and I think there was a colour coding scheme for different colours. I seem to remember. So if you were a certain nobility, you could have this colour.
Yeah.
I mean, the rest of us would be in Hessian, but
there's a small area of Germany.
That what, Ypres?
No.
Oh.
Hessian.
Hesse.
And let's not mention.
No. Yeah.
Anyway, I've lost my track now. No, yeah, you're right. No, the nobility. There was things of, I think, medieval England. I know we're going off track a little bit now, but that's what it's all about. Medieval England. There was things that you depended upon your rank and stature that you could wear, but when you were lower down the orders, you couldn't wear.
Yeah.
Do you know? Well, obviously because it was, you know, you probably couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
But
98% tax or something.
Yeah. And we've done. Where else have we done? We've done London quite a lot.
London, we've been.
Yeah, we've done. We've got a London. We stayed at the Union Jack Club, and
plenty of places to go.
Plenty of places. We do the 10 Bells. You know, the Jack the Ripper pub, the Blind Beggar, where George Cornell got shot. In fact, the bullet was still in the ceiling. So you know, the East End thing. And there was, in fact, I weren't with you. I was with another colleague of ours, Derek, and we were in a pub called the Carpenter's Arms.
Yeah.
With these two. He was talking to these two because he's a golfer.
Yeah.
He was talking to these two Canadian lads about, because they were on a golf tour. And I was in this pub and I thought, so it's Carpenter's Arms and it's in Bethnal Green, if you ever want to go there. And not the surprise, but the history of it is because it was dark and I didn't really know where I was. Well, apart from being in London and being in Bethnal Green. But really, it's just around the corner from Valence Road, which is where the twins lived. And in fact, they did actually own this pub for a short while. And their mother, Violet, a lovely lady by all accounts, she was the landlady, and I was sort of gobsmacked by this information because I'd been to I'd been to the Blind Beggar, but this was actually here. Do you know, this was like here and now. This wasn't just a fleeting thing of going in and shooting. This was like bang on. And I remember, because I had them glasses at the time, you remember them Reggie Cray glasses?
Yeah.
Or Ronnie, whatever they were.
Yeah. Did the dog eat them?
He did actually,
yeah.
Because he likes glasses.
Yeah.
Especially expensive ones.
I was looking at the time, we need to start warming up because of the other bit.
Yes. So there's plenty of places to go. I mean, again, London, we do the Old Cheshire Cheese, which is on Fleet Street.
That is a brilliant pub, cracking pub.
Yeah, it was refurbished after the Great Fire in 1666, 67. And throughout time, at the period, it's lovely to go. Sam Smith's now, so it's quite old-fashioned, quite cheap for London. But at any time in history, we know Samuel Pepys, because he writes about it in his diary. Nell Gwyn, Charles II's bit on the side, lived in Nell Gwyn's yard, just down the road from it. But people like Dr. Johnson, he's the one that gave us the dictionary.
Nell Gwyn, wasn't she tied in with Covent Garden?
As well, yes. Yeah, selling oranges.
Yeah.
Nice pair of Nell Gwyns.
We need a wrap.
We need a wrap. We need a wrap. Yeah, so that was just itinerant rambling. Again, you know, there's no thing to it. We just, whatever comes into his head, we're going to talk about.
We take you out with us when...
Oh, yes. Yeah, keep looking forward because
There's more to come.
There's more to come,
more to come.
We're going to go on tour.
On tour, yeah. And it does get messy.
Goodbye.
So, if you enjoyed this, please
by the
subscribe.
way, I have got some requests.
Oh, he's got requests.
Yeah, Jodie, I'll be up in a minute. Get the naughty corner ready. Maddie, I hope you get better soon.
Arrivederci.